And we're living like in the hangover of the patterns of that event. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're just having a little discussion, pre-discussion, before the class today. And thank you for the ones of you that are here today and for you that might be joining us online as we continue on with our presentation of the 12 different attributes or faculties of our power. Again, stressing, not 12 powers, only 12 attributes of the power, because there's only one power. Everybody say that. There is only one power, and that power is in me, and that power is in me. Very good. So, we are down to Simon. We're down to Simon, which is going to be zeal. So we've got 3 more before we complete the cycle of the 12 faculties. We've been through Peter, faith, Andrew, strength, discrimination of judgment, James, John, love, Philip, power, Bartholomew, imagination, Thomas, understanding, Matthew, will, James, order, and today is zeal, which is Simon from Canaan. In the body, this would represent the back of the head or the medulla in the back of the head. Just as a reminder, this is the work that came through Charles Fillmore over 150 years ago or so, who is the founder of Unity. And he based this upon the scripture of Matthew 10 and 38. Assuredly, I say to you, that he who is a follower, now this is important. First word, assuredly, I like that. Assuredly, I say to you that he, her, the one, who follows what? The teachings. Not follow me, follow the teachings. It's all about the teachings. Whereas most Christians follow the man. Now, that's not totally bad if the man leads you to the teachings. But you see, they worship the man and replaced his teachings with their dogma and doctrine. That's the difference between the Jesus of organized religion, is that they worship him. He is their way. He is their truth. He is their everything. And in the place of what he taught, they have removed most of the teaching, right? Most of what Jesus taught is not in the Bible. That's why in the last of this age, in the last few decades, you've had this restoration of those teachings that were hidden. See, in Qumran and in Nag Hammadi, these were all hidden in jars and placed in caves so that man could not get to it, to make them a part of the 58 different translations of the Bible. So these teachings are in the most purest form that you can get, such as the Gospel of Thomas is probably one of the best ones. If you want to tackle any of them, is to look up the Gospel of Thomas. And there you will see a completely different Jesus than the Jesus that you're going to read in Christendom. I'll give you an example. Jesus said, I want to do my teachings, but I'm going to do it outside in nature, and I'm going to put my back to a tree. Jesus understood how to connect with nature. He told them to cleanse themselves. You think this is a bunch of new age, it's a bunch of alternative medicine. No, this is old ancient teachings to cleanse the body. And he told them sometimes to do it like a colonic by using these gorges. I know you don't want to talk about that, but I'm just a real advocate for colonics. As you know that, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I do a colonic most every month. Because a lot of death begins in the colon. Now, I know that gets all uncomfortable. We don't talk about those kind of things. So, but Jesus taught these things. He taught about things that we should eat and not eat. And it's very clear that the fruit has been given to you for your meat. So all that kind of teaching has been edited mostly out of the Bible and replaced with Christian doctrine and dogma. So are you getting that? Assuredly, I say to you that he who follows my teachings will sit with me on 12 thrones. So it's the teachings that empowers you and releases the fullness of your power, because throne is metaphysically symbolic of power. When you sit on a throne, you're in your power. So if you want to sit in your power, you have to follow the teachings. And again, we've been given that through the Nag Hammadi, the lost books of the Bible, the restoration of many books that was taken out of the Bible. There's so many of them, so many. I think it's Greg Bring that said they took out 26 books out of the Bible that didn't make it in because it was not voted in at Nicene in the 4th century. So it was a select few of those books, which end up to be 66 books that ended up to be the Bible that Christians use. So most of the teachings got edited out. We've also used the idea that in the Christian, it's not the Christian Bible, it's the Bible Christians use, but in the Bible that most Christians use, and I know you get tired of hearing this, but it's so important, that you have 18 years missing in Jesus' life. There's not one thing about him from the age of 12 until 18. If somebody can show me that, I'll eat the book. So what in the world went on from 12 years old? Notice 12 years old. Keep following the numbers. You know, somebody say, follow the money. No, you follow the numbers. 12 is an intergovernmental power of authority. So what did he do in those 18 years that are missing? What did he learn? What did he experience? Now, all of that seems to be lost, but it's not lost. It's just been replaced or repositioned in the unconscious part. So a lot of things you don't know or understand, you already know. Are you with me on that? You know more than you understand. That's what an epiphany is. That's what an aha moment is. That is why you have a part of the higher self, referred to as the Holy Spirit, that brings things to remembrance because you forgot it. But you have it. There's your power, is you've got to use Peter, the first aspect of this power, as faith. Faith is not blind. Faith is remembering what is invisible to the human mind, but is true in the invisible world made visible. That's how it describes faith. Faith is that thing that is unseen being made seen. So I got to get off of that. I'll be there the whole hour. The bottom line is, you know more than you understand. And that shows up when you're being intuitive. How many of you can honestly say, I have known to do something I didn't understand why I was doing it? Sure you have. Every one of you has experienced the fact that you knew something without an understanding of it. And what do we call that? Knowing? Gnosis. Gnosis. Which means what? What is gnosis? That's good. I'm looking for a word. Direct knowledge. Gnosis is direct knowledge. It means it comes from Spirit, the Father of lights, Creator, whatever you choose to call it, and gets directly to your human understanding without going through any filters. Sorry. Without any filters. And what would be the filters? Judgment's a filter, but where do you get judgment from?
Our ego mind is the filter. Ego.
And what's the ego mind made of?
Fear.
What's fear made of?
Separation.
What's separation made of?
2 cups sugar, 1 cup of
Incorrect information. Incorrect information.
Incorrect information is called you're close, you're going the right way. A belief system. A BS system.
BS system.
In most cases, it is a BS system. And that means what you have downloaded outside of yourself. The source is your church. The source is your preacher. The source is your teacher. The source is the book you read. There's nothing wrong with those things if they're used as mediums and tools, but they should never be your source. I should never be your source. Don't you dare learn something here because I just said it. And because David said it, I'm going to believe it. That is totally not right. If I'm not resonating something with you, I'm sorry, we just need to go through this again today. I just feel it. If what I'm saying is not resonating with you, your ego, your reactive mind, left brain, says, if I don't get it, it must be wrong. And then judgment comes in and judges it wrong because I don't know that I believe it.
And then fear kicks in because you don't want to change, even though you may
Well,
have a glimmer.
that's the big enemy, is the lack of change. And that's what you're here for, is change. Yeah. So are you with me on that? So when I say something that doesn't resonate with Bonnie, but it resonated with Beth, because Beth was at a point and a place to resonate with that truth that was already in her. I just was the outer facilitator for her inner truth to be awakened into her consciousness. And from Gene Davis's many months of teachings, what do we call that? When that happens, it's called self-knowledge.
Oh, no.
And you don't want to validate anything that is not self-knowledge. If you validate somebody else's knowledge, then you are not activating your own I am code identity. So Bonnie says, well, I didn't get it. I don't know about that. I'm not sure what that is. Now, Bonnie's been with me so many years that she would know immediately not to be reactive, to judge me right or wrong, but to contemplate it.
And then qualify it.
There you go. She would contemplate it without judging it right or wrong, good or bad, and hold it in the neutral. How many know we have a neutral channel in us? In energy work, it's called the sushumna in the East, or it's also called the prana tube. But we all know that running down the center of the body, there is a neutral, and then we have the negative and the positive that winds up it. So imagine the medical caduceus of the two serpents going up that pole. I mean, that's a really powerful old Egyptian Atlantean sign that they don't even know they have, that is so powerful. But you have the Ida, the Pingala, all crossing and following that pole up the center of the body. And of course, where they're crossing is causing a vortex of energy called a chakra. That's why you have chakras. Energy crossing energy causes spin. And if you are clairvoyant enough to see spin, you would see it like a wheel of energy, which is the Sanskrit word for chakra. Okay? So, then Bonnie knows what to do with that. She holds it in neutral. A week later, 6 weeks later, or whenever later, either she hears me say something or she's on the internet and she's reading a book, and all of a sudden, she's now ready to receive what she was not ready to receive at the time. But through her continuous study and growing and tuning her consciousness, she's now tuned herself to this knowledge that she didn't get at that time to come in. And she goes, oh, that's what he was saying. That's what he meant. Now she has this information that is innate intelligence. Say the word. Innate intelligence. That means it's already in you. It's innate. It's not, you don't have it, I got it. It's I have it, but I can't remember it.
I get that a lot.
Absolutely. So now Bonnie, who at the time it was said, her reactive mind would have rejected it, but because of the teachings that she's been under, the tool was not to reject it, hold it in neutral, and to see that when her consciousness reached a certain level to resonate that information, it would resonate that information into her consciousness. And that's how it goes here at HeartLight. I don't want teaching classes where people's going to come in and there's a teacher here, and because the teacher is teaching, we believe everything the teacher says because they're the teacher and we're the student. There is no teacher and student here. We're all teachers and students at the same time. Thank goodness for some wonderful facilitators here that we have right now. But they're not your teacher. I got to get on the power, man. But anyway, to close this up, at that point, Bonnie now gets it for herself. It is her self-knowledge. And now she says, I'm ready to qualify it as a belief. And then, I don't know if you can share what happens at that point that's so important. But once you qualify innate intelligence as a belief and carries that frequency, you change your blueprint in the etheric body, which drives cellular replication. So as your cells die and replicate, they start reading a different blueprint from a different frequency, which begins to upgrade your body. That's what should be happening here that concerns me. We should be moving out of degeneration to regeneration. Say it again. We should be moving from degeneration to regeneration. So assuredly I say to you that who that follows the teachings will also sit on the 12 thrones. It's in the teachings. And that's why this place is becoming more of a teaching center than a preaching center. I may sound like a preacher sometimes, but I'm always teaching.
That's just a method of.
I'm not trying to preach you up into some emotional frenzy like some think I am and tag me always being that Pentecostal again. I really resent that, I hate to tell you, but I really resent people that's out there saying that, and there is a few that has really, that touches me deeply. Because there's a difference in what old Pentecost was and cellular quickening. If I get up here and do a little dance and I move and I shake a little bit, I'm not being Pentecostal. It means that my innate truth is hit me where I live. Oh yeah, if I do a little dance, it's in my feet where my neuropathy is. Somebody help me. If my hands start doing like this, it's changing my arthritis in my hands. If I'm doing like this with my back because I'm uncomfortable when I came in here, it's because my spine is realigning itself. Somebody help me. That's what should be happening. We should be being transformed by the renewing of our mind. Say it. Be transformed by the renewing of our minds. I got to move forward. Oh my. Zeal. This is a good one. In fact, this should be a Sunday message, and I may do it again. Because right now, what HeartLight needs and the world needs at large is zeal. Zeal, the fervor of tireless devotion to a person, cause, or ideal, and determination in its furtherance, diligent enthusiasm, and powerful interest. Oh my God, let's just stop there.
Could you read it again? Yeah, slowly.
It's not, it should be a,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it should be on there.
It is.
The fervor of tireless devotion for a person, cause, or ideal, and determination in its furtherance, diligent enthusiasm, powerful in interest. Zeal should be why you're sitting in these chairs. Now, if you're sitting in this chair because you got up today and said, oh my God, it's Wednesday. Oh, it's Wednesday, I gotta get up, I gotta go. Oh my Lord, I could be doing something else. But I know they're expecting me. Maybe even David needs me to be there or whatever. But if you got up this morning and said, it's Wednesday. Wow, I'm gonna go. I'm even gonna go early enough to do the Qigong. I'm going to be there for the early part of this thing. I'm going to be there for the teaching because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what surprises Spirit's going to come through today. Then you have zeal. Zeal motivates you into action. Without it, you become complacent. And that is what the ego wants you to do. Become complacent. Charles Fillmore says, to be without zeal is to be without the zest of living.
Zeal is like being on fire.
It's fire shut up in your bones, it says. Fillmore says zeal is the affirmative impulse of existence. Its command is go forward. Go forward. HeartLight, go forward. If we don't go forward, then we get into too much routine and we get into reactive mind. Yes?
We have that in politics right now. Kamala Harris has zeal.
Thank you. If you'll bring that up, okay, all right, go there.
I'll second that motion.
She does. She has zeal.
She does have zeal, and it's changed the whole platform completely. I mean, my God, we haven't seen zeal on either side of politics in so long that it's amazing. And she laughs. Oh my God, she laughs. They make a big deal about her. She laughs. Oh my goodness, she laughs. It's just terrible. I mean, you're in bad shape and you're going to make that a political issue, somebody laughing. You are at the bottom of the barrel, as far as I'm concerned. Zeal is the mighty force that incites the winds, the tides, the storms. It urges the planet on its course and spurs the ant to great exultation. I was just watching that the other day. I was just watching some ants outside my window. That's the most fascinating thing, how they move and work, and how it's like a force that moves them to do what they do. Most everything in nature is by force. And somehow humans lost the force. And I think we lost it because we got too smart for our britches, excuse my language. And nature and the animal world didn't do that. They stayed with instinct. They stayed with how the nervous system was put together for survival. They stayed with what's passed down from generation to generation on how to reproduce themselves and keep themselves going. But then humans developed this frontal cortex mind where we really got a little lazy and shut the force down. There is no evolution without force. Force moves evolution to where it wants to go. The fervor and tireless devotion of a person cause their ideal and determination in its furtherance, and one must have powerful interest. What moves you because you have a great interest in it? Think about that a minute. What motivates me? What do I so believe in? What cause, what vision do I have that it literally moves me? An example could be on a political level, somebody that you really believe in their vision and what they could do that you agree with in some way. But you don't have the force to give them $5. Because my $5 means nothing. Now, I could bring that down to HeartLight. The giving to HeartLight is due to a force that moves you to give your offerings. And without that force, the offerings will not be what they could be, like this month. But that's another story. I think when we take offerings, people should do it with zeal. What if we gave our offerings with some good music and get up and yes. I love what this stands for. I love that I have this space to come to. I don't take it for granted. I don't take all the work that is done here. I want to support it, and I'm going to show that because there's a force moving me to action. And it's not just money. Maybe it's action more to be involved in some way. Maybe I could do more. Maybe I should consider being a greeter. I've never thought about it. I just figure somebody will step up. Or maybe I should be a part of the potluck dinner thing more. Maybe I should volunteer to do that. See, we won't do it unless we feel a energy or a zeal. If we lose the zeal, we're going to lose everything here. The zeal, one, to come, the zeal to commit, and the zeal to action. That's a community. The man or woman without a zeal is like an engine without steam or an electric motor without a current. Energy is zeal in motion. And energy is the forerunner of every effect. In Exodus 20:5, it says, I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. I don't think that which I serve has jealousy in it. So, because that doesn't witness to me, but my reactive mind says, but it's in the Bible, and that's God's word, so God must be a jealous God. And my heart is saying, why would God be a jealous God? That just seems real lesser of a God to me, more like a human. Humans get jealous. And that's what we do. We project our own stuff on God and create God in our image and likeness. Well, the word there, if you look it up in the Greek, is zelos, Z-E-L-O-S, zelos, which means zealous. Now, I like that. I like a God that is zealous about me and zealous about my highest and best good and zealous to help me to manifest and create the desires of my heart. But I'm not looking for some God that is jealous over me. Yes?
Well, oddly enough, I had reason to look up jealous not too long ago. And the second thing that it says here is, by way of definition, is feeling or showing suspicion of someone's unfaithfulness. And that could be an interpretation that I could appreciate biblically.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's good to look these things up for yourselves. You need to study these things for yourself. People say to me, I hear things like, well, I don't understand about when he talks about whatever. And I wonder, did that person even look it up? Did they take the time to go to the website and just look up that term and learn it for themselves to see maybe what I'm talking about? Or are they just immediately deciding they don't want to understand it? See, I can only take you so far. The rest is up to you. Look up words for yourself. Well, I'm not educated in the Aramaic and the Greek and the Hebrew. You don't have to be. Somebody's done that for you. I'm not either. But I know how to use a Strong's Concordance. I know how to put the word jealous by Strong's Concordance in the Greek. All I have to do, and it pops right up. I did not have to go to college or the university and learn Greek to do it. Yes?
But wasn't that God that says, that I'm a jealous God? wasn't he one of the gods was asked at the end who was talking to the lesser God and people saying that I'm a jealous God?
That would be true, and that's where it comes from, the Old Testament.
Yes.
Yeah, the Old Testament God was a jealous God. But when we bring it to the God of the New Testament and the Father of Jesus, he's a zealous God. It's not the same one. You got a jealous God and you got a zealous God. But we have made the jealous God become the zealous God and lost the zealousness of the word in that way. In Romans 10:2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Now, knowledge here is not the gnosis knowledge, it is the intellectual knowledge of man. There's different words for knowledge in the Bible. There's the knowledge that you get outside yourself, the knowledge that you get inside yourself. In the Mirror, it says, I know that the zeal and devotion, that their problems is not through ignorance, but through passion. So when we're in zeal and devotion, then we dissipate the ignorance or the unenlightenment aspect of what we've learned that is not in alignment with gnosis or true knowledge. Zeal is the greatest universal force that impels humankind to spring forward in a field of endeavor and accomplish the seemingly miraculous. Christians look for Jesus to do miracles for them, God to do miracles for them. In metaphysical, we realize that we are co-creators of our own miracles. Genius is the breaking forth of accumulated achievements in the field of activity for which one has been zealous in many incarnations. Examples. Mozart played the organ at the age of 4. Where did he get such miraculous musical ability? A history of his soul would show that he had been accomplishing this for ages. Carried from one incarnation to another, his zeal for harmony and sound. Same with Shakespeare, etc. People just don't pop up with these talents. These talents manifest because of lifetimes of their zeal and commitment to that. Then it can, at some point, show up as a gift in some way. So, I have a zeal exercise for us today to do. So, and then we'll open this up for any discussions or talks that you want to do. First of all, our affirmation is this. I don't know if you have that or not, but you can do it after me. I claim my power of zeal now. Together. I claim my power of zeal now. I am passionate and enthusiastic about divine ideas. I am passionate and enthusiastic about divine ideas. So to enhance your zealous enthusiasm is what is yours to do. Center your attention for a moment at the base of the brain and quietly affirm. And what we will affirm is our affirmation again. I claim my power of zeal now. I am passionate and enthusiastic
about divine ideas.
Then let's do this. Again. I claim my power of zeal now. I am compassionate and enthusiastic about divine ideas. Infinite energy and intelligence is pouring forth through zeal and enthusiasm. Now follow your imagination. Then follow in imagination a set of motor nerves that lead out of the medulla to the eyes, affirming the presence of power of energy and intelligence is now manifesting in my eyes, that I might see through the illusion of the world. I'll read that again as you just take in the words and the feeling that is behind them. I now follow my imagination as a set of motor nerves that lead out of the medulla to the eyes, affirming the presence and power of energy and intelligence, which is now manifesting in my eyes, that I might see through the illusions of the world. Moving to the ears, affirm energy and intelligence will open my hearing to spirit, which is guiding my life now. Moving to the ears, I affirm energy and intelligence, which are opening me to hear spirit as it is guiding my life now. And now I move to the nose and affirm energy and intelligence. The purity of spirit enfolds so that I may take in the fragrance of divine presence in me and around me. I now move to my nose and affirm energy and intelligence. The purity of spirit enfolds so that I may take in the fragrance of divine presence in me, around me. I've been in meetings where this has happened and people smell rose, some kind of rose scent of roses. As you move to the mouth, carry the life current to the root of the tongue with the thought of freedom to allow my authentic self to speak truth. I move to the mouth, carrying the life current of the root of the tongue with the thought of freedom to allow my authentic self to speak truth. Divine Holy Spirit, to whom we recognize as our true teacher, as a part of ourselves that holds the purity of divine logos, or the word. in its most purest form of energy and spirit. We ask today that through this teaching and this talk and this focus upon this subject, that we rekindle the fire of our solar plex, which is the element of fire, to burn brightly in us in the form of enthusiasm, action, vision, today we activate the spirit of zeal, individually and collectively as a community of people for HeartLight. For we that are here represent all. Let the fire of your spirit and the flame of your spirit set upon our minds and heads as it did on the day of Pentecost in the upper room. From that action was taking, which was the birth of the church, the New Testament church. And today we know that there is a new rebirthing of something new, wonderful, and mysterious that is ready to flow through us into the collective consciousness. Just take a deep breath and just stay with that feeling for just a few seconds, wherever you are right now. Maybe you feel a tingling in your hands, going up your arms, into your chest and heart area. Or maybe you feel in your feet, which is activating where you're going, activating you on your path to move forward. See where in your body you feel that tingling, like we feel it when we come here and do the exercise on the morning, and they have us to stop and feel the energy and the tingling. In the Qigong. And when you are ready, you can slowly return to your breath. Allow your breath to bring you into the awareness of the room. So we're a little early today, so let's take the rest of our time for comments or something from you. What do you get out of this? Yes, Bonnie?
Well, as I told you, I've been listening to Universal Christ by Richard Rohr, and it's so positive and so uplifting that every time I listen to it, I get something more out of it.
It's very good.
And it's just a beautiful book. He was a Franciscan priest and then gave that up and wrote this book. and he turns Catholicism upside down. And he explains these things that he's got in the book that we all associate with in this community.
Mhm.
And it's just breathtaking. Anyway,
What have you got from the class? That's what I'm asking.
class, okay, class. Zeal, I'll do zeal. My zeal goes along with my imagination. Because
It does, it's connected.
Because when I'm listening to music, I can imagine doing ballet steps to it. You know, ballet, because I did it for 13 years.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's my zeal, is movement. And that's where I show my zeal.
A wonderful way to use zeal too is things that you even have to do around the house
Mhm.
that you've dreaded and whatever, washing a dish or something like that. Now, I personally like to wash a dish rather than a dish. I think it's therapeutic to me. The water running over my hands, the warm water, cleaning the dish. I don't know why, but that's just a thing that I don't dread doing, that I do once in a while. So you can bring zeal into that every part of your life of areas that you've kind of learned to dread to do, and do them with a new zeal of doing it. Somebody had their hand, yes?
Yes. Earlier today, when you were talking about change, I saw a real flash of a statue that came from ancient Iraq, Sumerian lions.
Uh-huh.
They're part lions and part something else. But I saw the head of the lion, and we should really congratulate ourselves, because if there's anything the ego mind hates, is to not be in control.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we are in our power to allow spirit. And it's scary. It's difficult, but we should be definitely be commended for it.
Yeah, absolutely, I so agree with that. Thank you. Yes.
I thought the exercise that you did, relating our physical body to the concept of zeal with the affirmations, and which, you know, was up on the slides, but then the part after that, the extemporaneous, I'm going to call it prayer that you said, I can't wait to I want to write that down, I want to post it. It was just so concise, so, I mean, I don't think you'd ever written that down like that or anything, but it just came forward just so clear, so real, just right on target.
Good. I need to listen to it.
Yeah.
Good on
you
what
do.
I said.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Somebody else. What thoughts does this bring up to you about this subject of zeal? How can you bring this into your life?
It reminds me of my dog.
You what?
It reminds me of my dog.
Your dog? I get that.
There's a lot of zeal.
Yeah, they do. They do. They do.
Not my 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Approaching things with an atmosphere of zeal, even if we aren't necessarily feeling it, but thinking about it, you know, is going to create that energy all around us. You know, even if we're in it, it's going to be expansive. If we're thinking about it and calling it in, it's a process for us to do.
I like that. So zeal is contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah. People will start matching your frequency when you're in a zealous state about something like that.
It allows me to not be as upset when there's some kind of catastrophe happening, because I have been able to match everything that was the hardest thing for me to deal with, added to who I am now and why I'm excited every morning to get up.
And we feel it.
I guess Sandra is too.
She woke up this morning.
That in itself is just my zeal for, but in picking on Sandra, but anyway, zeal, that emotional aspect of what we use to manifest, I guess that's what resonates with me with that, because they say, well, when you're passionate about something, we match the frequency of it, but it's about getting, to me, zeal is putting that emotion to it. I mean, if you don't have any emotions
Right.
about something,
Right.
be it good or bad, because sometimes we think zeal is only associated with happy. You could be zeal about hating something or being in a negative state with it too. So it's that emotional aspect. That's what it brought up for me.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because that was part of what I was supposed to cover here, that zeal can also be used in a different way too, than such a positive way too. Yeah, good point. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that brings about a thought for myself that I protect my zeal, and I'm not very quick to let everybody know that I have that zeal. Because people, if you're not careful, they will take advantage of your zeal.
Good point.
Especially the ego.
Very good point. These are good. These are good.
Protection.
Talk to me. Come on, talk to me. Don't be shy. Those are very good points that are being made here.
I like what you said, Terry, about protection, because that's something that we have to call in for ourselves. You know, I mean, we trust the police, we trust our government, you know, that kind of thing. But as far as our personal faith and everything else, we need to call in protection. That doesn't mean we have to remove ourselves or any of that kind of thing. But we can call it in, just like we can call in any kind of energy that's important. You know, we can live in a world of protection, and we need to. You know, I'm not saying that exactly well, but
I think I get it. Rita, what does zeal mean to you?
That energy to make you go forward and that you feel it.
It's a motivator. It motivates
It's a
us.
motivator.
Yes. And it inspires. Zeal also inspires us.
And people react to it. I mean, like you said, it's contagious.
I see these two young ladies back here. I've seen you before, right?
Yes,
I know you look familiar. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. And
Been a while.
Gail.
well, it's good to have you this morning.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Jackie has something to say.
Yes, Jackie.
I'm thinking about Sunday after hearing your message. I had zeal. I was very enthusiastic about what you had said. And I think I came here to be a teacher, that I've been doing teaching all my life. And when I got home, now, I just wanted to share that message. And so I got on my computer and I forwarded our Sunday service to all of my family, my siblings, and to a classmate who is a minister and also a lawyer. He lives in Georgia. And, I said, if you are interested or have the time, check this out. Well, yesterday I was talking to one of my sisters and she said, oh, by the way, I listened to Reverend David's Sunday message. And she said, I said, did you? She said, I listened to all of it, his singing and everything. And she said, I want to check with you to see if I understood what he was saying. And she told me her understanding, and I said, that sounds, good to me. But I wasn't going to go back and check with them to see if they listened. I know
Right.
some of them did, some of them didn't. But the zeal, the enthusiasm, the powerful interest pushed me to share that.
What a great way to end this class. I wonder if all of you would have done that. Left here Sunday so enthusiastic that you went out and shared this with somebody that you know out there. That's a ministry. That's a ministry. Thank you. That's That's the greatest compliment I could get, is to motivate and make someone enthusiastic about this service that they just had to go and share it with somebody. Please share. Please share.
Do you know what to share? Do you know how to tell them to get to it?
Yeah.
To get to the video. If you were to share with somebody, say, hey, check David out online, you know where to send them.
HeartLightCharlotte.org.
Very good. Hey, just want to make sure.
Just checking. All right, thank you all so much. Let's go ahead and take our love offering for the class.
We don't take offerings.
We will receive your loving gifts to HeartLight. Summer's a bit of a challenge, but that's okay. I've let it go. I've just let it go. What comes in, comes in. All is well. But we do have a lot of travelers this summer for some reason. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So thank you for you that are so faithful. Wait, there's someone over this side. Don't miss anybody.
I'm going back.
Okay, going back.
Get my own.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week, and hope to see you Sunday.
Potluck.
Potluck again. Bring good, healthy food as much as you can.